I keep tweaking.
I ain't got no light, man. It's dark. I'm down. I'm in the garage, man.
All I see is your
I
forehead, bro.
know, right? And the car behind me. Sorry,
No, you good, bro.
I
I
ain't got
talked to
no
Archie.
ring.
He said he kind of was running late, so he could just hop in whenever he hop on.
Okay, they left.
Let me see. Okay, bet. Anyway, welcome to the D Will Show. This is episode 119. I got my guy Twan joining me today. We're gonna talk about some quick NBA topics that's been going on around the league right now. Twan is a sports guy, my barber, so we have good talks all the time. But to start it off, big homie, I'm gonna ask you about. We kind of talked about it on the phone. Just Team USA, how they got the two losses. The roster
Hmm.
conspiracy people have been bringing up. Just what's your opinion on just Team USA? What they could be better at? Who you think should go for 2024? And we could just start off right there.
Okay. Well, for starters, um, I don't know about the World Games. We never really seen, at least that I've seen,
Hmm.
the top tier players never really go to the World Games. So I think the program that they're running is fine. I just think that um, I think it's a tall task to ask guys to commit for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes people say, well, we didn't send the better guys, but I think sometimes considering what they have going on and the obligations to their franchises, along with the brands that guys have become nowadays, I think it's a tall task to ask guys to commit all summer for 2023 and 2024, considering that
Yeah.
they have family. Because most of the players that people expect to go, like they have families, they kind of have a lot going on. So
Yeah.
I think one summer is enough. And with that being said, as far as on the team, uh, I think they should send the guys. I mean, I don't think they have to send because most of the people that everybody keeps speculating, the Kevin Durant's, the Steph, the LeBrons,
Hmm.
like we typically don't send people that old
Yeah.
to the Olympics. Like I
Yeah.
know their skill level and I know what they are in terms of accolades, but most of them are over 35.
Especially Bron. What this is the
Yeah,
year? What 2021 for Bron?
21. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's a lot. You know what I mean? So that's a tall
Now,
tale to ask guys to do that.
yeah, like I know we talked about before, but like just to adapt into the different game style. You know what I mean? I know we talked
Yeah.
about it on the phone with Austin Reeves. Like, what do you feel like is the biggest just trying to adapt to the game? Like, how do you feel like is it because of Austin Reeves is only 20 years old? Do you just think it just being young is hard to adapt to that game? That's why USA lost two games, or do you just think that they just skill wise they just didn't have it?
I think that we didn't send a good basketball team
Yeah. So you
overall.
didn't like
Just
the team at
I
all
didn't
that we sent
like
out there.
team, like emphasis on the word team, not the individual players.
Yeah.
All them dudes, well, most of them dudes are pretty nice for their respective franchises, but as a team, like Brunson was the only like really solid point guard that we had. You know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't really we didn't have speed to match Schroeder. You know what I mean? We definitely didn't have enough size. And
Yeah.
everybody knows in FIBA you gotta have size. If you know
Yeah.
basketball, you know in FIBA you gotta have size because most of those European teams they're big,
Yeah.
so you can't go over there small because you're gonna get
Hmm.
exposed every time. So
Every time.
so
Now, if you had to pick your 12 people to go out there, who would be your 12?
uh, well, I think it's pretty easy for me. Steph, Dame, point guards, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler is my shooting guards,
Hmm.
uh, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. Well, I'll move Jimmy to the three. Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler is my threes. Bron, Kevin probably at the four. Anthony and probably Bam Adebayo.
Yeah. Okay.
Though all those guys know the FIBA rules, so knowing the rules is important because that crucial bucket that Austin Reeves, well, he didn't give it up because he wasn't guarding, but in help rotation, he didn't know what to do. That last
Hmm.
play when Schroeder got that bucket
He
at the end of the game
hesitated a
against
little
us,
bit.
he kept
Yeah.
he kept going in and out the lane because he was expecting defensive 3 seconds. So he'll step in and then he would flash out, and he would flash in and he would
And
flash out. There is no
it's too
defensive
late.
3 seconds in FIBA, so he could have just
Hmm.
stood there and waited on them to take a charge. That's why they
Now,
always pack it in against us, because there's no defensive 3 seconds.
yeah, and that just come with just being young. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's why I'm
it's
not
just
a fan of
and
that
just knowing
team
the
either.
rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
just I mean, even if he was a veteran, if he never played, he still ain't gonna know the rules because he never played.
true.
You
Yeah,
know what I
I didn't even
mean?
think
So
about it like that. Yeah,
he's a young player, but he also is a player who don't know FIBA rules because he ain't played FIBA basketball.
facts.
Most of the guys on that
Facts.
team have no FIBA experience. So now that they played in the World Games, oh, I would throw Ant-Man back on that team. I would throw
I say Ant
Ant-Man back on
Man
that
and
team.
probably
Yeah,
Triple J for
yeah,
sure. As far as bigs,
yeah.
because you really ain't got no other choice after that
Oh,
besides what.
he get in foul trouble too much. I ain't sending him back. Give me Joel Embiid. Let me get Joel at the center. Let me get Anthony at the backup center, and let me get um, Bam as my other big, my versatile big.
Why is Miles Turner not playing though? I feel like I mean, he ain't a bum, but I mean, that's another big you can throw out there that can
I
spread the
think he
floor.
should go.
He
I
could
think he should
defend.
go. I would rather him go than Anthony Davis. Honestly, I don't think Anthony Davis should go. I'm just
He,
saying his name because he's one of the top tier players, but I don't think he should go.
yeah, he can't be healthy enough. He's not gonna
Nah,
play enough games for
he
the Lakers to
he
even be able to go.
no.
Yeah.
No, not just that. Even if he's healthy, like
Hmm.
Europeans are aggressive, man. They play
Yeah.
strong man basketball down around that rim. Like he don't want none of that
He
smoke.
don't
He's
even
too soft for
like
that.
playing the five. Yeah,
No,
so
he
he
don't
definitely ain't gonna
even
like
want to
that.
play the five over here, and it's soft as hell over here in comparison to Europe. Don't get me wrong, I love NBA ball, but in comparison to Europe, inside play is much tougher over there. Much more
Facts.
physical, I should say, not
Facts.
tougher. Like those
And them
guys,
dudes over there, they
yeah.
chop wood for a living. Like they,
Exactly. It's like you got a league full of PJ Tuckers and Draymond Green, just with, a little more offensive skill. You know what I mean? Like everybody is aggressive and they play hard down there.
yeah.
You can't be out there. You can't be out there with no. Anthony Davis needs to stay here. Jimmy,
Facts.
Jimmy,
Hmm.
Bam Adebayo, Miles Turner.
And
That's me. But that's
they should be able to win that easy. They shouldn't even have no
yeah.
competition at all.
They
At
won't.
all.
They won't. If all the guys, if all those people go, they won't.
Yeah.
One, majority of those people have played FIBA ball before, probably except for Steph never played in the Olympics. He played in the World Games. That's
Yeah.
it. So,
That was what, like 4 years ago, right? When he was on the team
yeah,
with
yeah,
no, that was
yeah.
with D Rose and he played, right?
I don't remember which World
I
Games. I know he was supposed
think
to be
so.
on the 26. He was on the 2014 World Games or
Yeah.
2015, one of them two, because he was supposed to play in the Olympics in
Mhm.
2016, but he had got hurt. That's the year they lost to Cleveland.
Okay,
Remember,
yeah,
he
that's right.
had
Okay.
messed his knee up against Houston, so he
Yeah,
went and had
okay.
like some type of knee scope or something. Something he did.
Gotcha. Okay, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about him, I know it's been like the whole talk about the whole Magic and Steph Curry debate and who's the GOAT and stuff like that. I know you're a big Steph Curry fan, but what's your take on just the comparison? I know we can kind of go off of that Steph is not really a true point guard, but like,
Yeah,
how do you
true.
feel? How do you look at the comparison? Do you like it? And kind of just go off of that.
I don't like the comparison in
Mm-hmm.
terms of, I don't think it's fair to match a guy up who's retired with a
Yeah.
guy who's still playing. Because
Mm-hmm.
that guy that's still playing, he has so many chances to add to his resume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just to me, I don't think it's fair. But I mean, I know people do it just for conversation. So just for the sake of conversation, I'll play along. But in my opinion, I don't think that I don't think that Steph is better than Magic at point guard, but I think Steph's overall effect on the game is just as impactful as Magic was, if that
Facts.
makes sense.
He just do it in a
He
different way. Magic was
just
more
does it in a
getting people
different way.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Running the offense, getting people involved. He does that on top of the fact that he can give you 30. Magic had Kareem. Steph don't have Kareem. You know what I mean? It's just him. He is the scorer.
Yeah.
So there is no Kareem over there. The closest he had to that was Kevin. But for the most part, it's him. Oh, I need 40 tonight. night because we down 2-1. I'm gonna go get 40 and get us game 4.
Mm.
I'm gonna come back to Boston and close these people out with another 40 piece. Like there is no let me get it to Kareem. He got to do it all. I mean, Magic could score like that too. We act like what he did in his rookie year was like a fluke. It wasn't. That was game 6 of the finals. He did that. That wasn't like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
game 3 of the season. That was a closeout game. He went and put up 42. So Magic could score, but what it looked like Magic trying to score, and he got Worthy on one wing, Norm Nixon or Byron Scott on this wing. The all-time league scorer is his center. He'll be dumb to be out there trying to score. So even if he could score, he wasn't going to. He wasn't trying to do that. Just go back and look at him in Michigan State. He could score. What sense does it make for him to do that? Steph has to do that.
Yeah, and the game was different then.
And
They wasn't really shooting threes back then. They was more of like, I'm gonna get to the paint, I'm gonna get to the lane, dish it off to you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, not just that, teams wasn't brave enough to build themselves around a scoring point guard back then. Zeke was like one of the only ones, and they still gave him like a lot of help. Like he had a lot of offense on that team. Before they traded for Mark Aguirre when they won the ring, they had Adrian Dantley. This brother was averaging 35 a game. You know what I mean? So he out here with Joe Dumars, with a guy. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like how Steph is. Steph is the one of one. He's the first for a team to build around a point guard and for him to have that level of success doing it. Because everybody else, it didn't work. Steve Nash didn't work. Baron Davis, when he was young, it didn't work. Every team that tried to build around a point guard and then put pieces around him, it's never worked until Steph Curry.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that before.
They know, when I say work, I mean win championships, not like you're not going to the playoffs. I mean, KJ before Charles came, that was his team pretty much.
In Phoenix,
They were going to the playoffs, but they wasn't getting to the finals till they got chucked. Steph is the first to actually go and win. And I mean, if you want to throw the KD thing in there, so be it. But he's won twice without Kevin.
Thanks.
Once
too.
Against LeBron James.
Easily too. Best record in NBA history? All that. Come on.
Yeah, like
they gotta count for something.
Yeah. So I know they didn't finish the ring, but that still kind of matters. They won 73 games, so it goes.
My next one for you is I need your top 5 point guards of all time. I need to hear your top 5
of all time point guard: Magic Johnson, John Stockton.
So wait. So we're not including
It's in that order.
We're not including Steph Curry in this one, right? Okay.
No, he's still playing. He's still, and that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying he still has a chance to add to that resume. So I think it's unfair to put current players on an all-time list, especially a top 5 list, unless they like LeBron is different. Only reason I say he's different, one, he's almost done. So it ain't too much more he can do besides win rings. He's got the scoring title. He's done everything else. So he's got his MVPs. He ain't getting no more MVPs. So the only thing left for him to do is win rings.
He might though.
No, it's not gonna happen. No, I don't think so. What he would have to do to get MVP, the team wouldn't win. That's why I said no.
Yeah, true.
If he got to
but for what he's doing,
if he has to get 30 a night, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win a lot of games. He's not gonna get MVP being 5th and 6th. It's a young man's league. They're gonna market them shorties. They ain't giving him no MVP.
Yeah.
Shoot. He averaged 30. He averaged 30 and shit was old as hell and still didn't get even an MVP nod. You know what I mean? It's a young man's league. So they're gonna give it to these young guys because that's what sells tickets. I personally believe they want to give it to Ja. He just won't stay out of trouble.
Thanks. Look at Skip laughing.
You see him? Yeah, I see him.
Skip, man, if you want to come in here for a little bit, man, let me know, bro. I'll add you in. Okay, but your top 5, let me know.
Okay, so top 5: Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, and if we're not using Steph Curry, I would probably say I ain't gonna use Chris Paul. Is the only current player I use because he's 38, and probably Steve Nash.
Shit. Now I heard some people throw Westbrook in there. Is Westbrook, could he potentially be in the top 5 when it's all said and done? I know you said, you can't really throw a current player in there.
No.
But
I don't even think when it's said and done, he won't be in the top five. Not to me, he won't.
Yeah. Because all he can continue to do is add triple doubles. I don't really see him
That's
winning
it.
no ring or anything no
That's
time
it.
soon.
Even if he wins a
Like,
championship, stats to me don't make you top five. What was his effect on the game? Just
mm,
averaging the triple double for a couple years, that don't put you at the top five point guard. Look at the list I said. Magic Johnson. Everybody feels like he's number one. Damn near everybody who watches basketball.
facts.
Stockton to me is number two. Why? Because he led the league and he the all-time leader in assists and steals. It didn't take him 21 years to do that. He passed Magic like early. You know what I mean? Like long before he ended his career. 5 to 6 years before he ended his career.
Yeah,
So I mean, like he's if you're the all-time leader in assists and steals, you a top five point guard.
facts. You playing both ways. You a
Not
two-way
only
player.
not only that, you shot 41% from three for a career. Like dude was good. Just because he's white, people think he couldn't play. I don't know why. We act like no everybody that's white can't hoop. That hooping is hooping, bro. If you can play, you can play. And Stockton was
Facts.
tough and he was cold.
If it weren't for MJ, he would have him one too.
Yeah. Like the shot that he hit the three to send Charles and them home. Right in Chuck's face. Everybody thought it was gonna be the Bulls against Houston. He said, nah. 97. Top of the key. Game. He called series and game. Get out of here. Like this dude he was a tough dude, man.
Zeke was a killer too. Zeke
Yeah.
played, but I didn't really, like I said, I'm young. I didn't really get to watch
He didn't
Zeke
play no
play.
defense. Zeke ain't had no defense. The
He
team
was,
just had defense. Zeke ain't had no defense. Don't let nobody tell you he did. He had hell no. If he
Zeke
would
gonna
have
let you go
played,
right in there and get your head
yeah.
knocked off.
Now if he would have played longer, Penny would have been number three to me. But
Mm.
he didn't play long enough. Penny is the first point guard I've ever seen that can run an offense, and then if they say go get him, he can turn right up and get 30 fast. Like it's easy fast. He,
How long
he
did he play?
uh
He didn't play that
he
long.
played he
Right?
played a long time, but at the height of his career, probably like 5 years. Because once he tore his knee, he came in '93 and he got
Mm-hmm.
hurt seriously '97, '98 season. So about 5 seasons. And I think three of them was with Shaq, and then when Shaq left, he still was doing this thing. But that's when he started getting hurt,
In
and he was
Orlando,
playing
right?
through injury. Yeah, he was playing through injury because he felt like he had to because Shaq was hurt. He felt like that was all he had. So
Man. I know we talked about this before, but the whole like James Harden situation. Do you still feel the same about him? Do you think he will get moved? Do you think he deserved to get moved? And like, if you were a team, are you looking at it as in like for the last 3 to 4 years, this dude has complained about every team he's been on. Does that kind of concern you as far as the owner, like trying to take a chance on him, on somebody that's 35 years old, making 20, $25 million a year?
no. To answer your first question, no. Now, to answer your first question, I mean not your second question, but to answer
Mhm.
your first question, I don't think that I honestly don't believe that he's worth the he's worth not the money but the time.
Yeah,
Like he should just stay put, man.
yeah.
I wish I was one of his homies because I'd tell him just stay put, man. Like you got a good thing, man. Patrick
Yeah.
that came over here, there's nowhere else you can go. The Clippers, that's not gonna work. Hell no,
Mm-mm.
that's not gonna work. Not gonna work at all. Portland,
Now he not realizing like any team you go to, bro, they gonna have to dent their team, bro. Like you not a chump, but we just gonna give up just nothing for you. We gotta move some people for you, bro. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly. So
Like
you fucking up, man. Like what are you doing?
then you got the best big man arguably in the league. Y'all was right
Yeah,
there. You just didn't show up. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
just stay put, man.
You
Just
got to do
hoop,
better,
bro.
man. That's it.
Just hoop, man.
That's it,
Um,
man. And they so for me, I just think that I think they I don't think they're gonna move. To answer your other question about him moving, I'm not sure they're gonna move him because where can they move him to? You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna take him at that price tag? And plus,
I don't think nobody was interested in him, right?
yeah, no, not really. I mean, every way he goes, like he messing up the squad. Who gonna take him?
Yeah.
Like he ain't coming at no veteran minimum. He coming in at 36. 0.7 or 0.5, whatever it is. Like that's damn near $40 million a season. Like to come hoop. What are you doing, man? Just take your 30. Nobody's gonna take him for that. He
Unless he get
gonna
a
get.
buyout.
He gonna
Unless he
get.
get a buyout and
Yeah.
then
He gonna. That's
he
what I
go
was about to
take the
say.
two or three mil, but
You
ain't
beat it out
nobody
my mouth,
taking that.
bro. You beat it out my mouth. I was just getting ready to say, like, bro, real talk. He gonna get Westbrook in a minute. Dead ass. He gonna get Westbrook in a minute. I'm serious.
Hey, but he got his money though. He got his money. He got
Yeah, it's
paid.
like they all gonna get their money, but what I mean is, it's gonna be he gonna have to find a home.
Yeah.
When I say get Westbrook, I don't mean nothing wrong because Westbrook has never been a headache like him. That's just the media putting that out
That's
there.
the media putting that on him,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the media narrative. That brother ain't no headache. He's never been documented that he's a headache anywhere he's played. James is a headache. Now they did Russ like that, and he wasn't a headache. What you think they're gonna do to this guy?
When they
At 36,
got the
he just
fast.
opted in on. That's probably the last big contract he gonna get, man. He messing himself up, man, big time.
And he what, 35, right? 34, 35?
35, I think 34, 35.
Yeah, he on his way out the door. He might as well go on and play these last year, 2 years in Philly.
Yeah,
Try to get you one and call it a career,
exactly,
bro. To real.
exactly.
And then the last one, bro, is the whole Greek freak kind of made the comments about that he may hint at going to a different team. I mean, obviously it's a business. Obviously, the teams always do what's best for them,
Yeah,
and the players do what's best for them.
exactly.
But do you feel like I was watching? I think it was First Take, that Shannon kind of broke it down where he was talking about Milwaukee kind of pretty much gave him the red carpet. Like anything he wanted, they tried to get it to him. They went and got Drew Holiday. They went and signed both of his brothers. Like, do you feel like it's more of like, I don't want to say a slap in the face, but more of like Milwaukee kind of laid it out for him and he still wants more? You know what I mean? Or is it, I mean, I don't even know how to put it. Like, do you just feel like he should stay put in Milwaukee or should he go to a bigger market that
So
kind of help his career even more?
so here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, yeah, Milwaukee laid it out for him. Milwaukee
Mm-hmm.
did this for him. They signed his brother. Signing his brother is a prerequisite. That's not gonna help us win. To me, laying it
True.
out for him means you're going to get him the better role players when they're available.
Yeah.
You're getting him the better coaches that can help him win when they're available. Ty Lue is available. Mark Jackson's available. These people are available. If Mark Jackson has been blackballed because of what he said, so be it. That's another subject for another day. But I'm just saying these head coaches are available. You're not going to get them. You went and got Adrian Griffin. He has no head coaching experience. Doesn't mean we can't win because he's a former player. So it may
Mm-hmm.
work like Darvin Ham worked in LA.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're not going to win with Pat Connaughton. No disrespect to him, but if he's getting major minutes, you're in trouble. If you got Grayson Allen and he's getting major minutes, you in trouble. And there's no disrespect to those guys, but they're not shooting 40% from the three. And then on the other end, they have to guard Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
And those guys are eating lunch against these guys. Do you know during the season, those two averaged almost 40 against them? That can't happen.
Yeah.
Jimmy can't single-handedly win a series. You need 3-and-D defenders. And Pat Connaughton and Grayson Allen ain't it. So I understand where he's coming from. Yes, the team has rolled out the red carpet, but you can't go spend money the way you want and then be like, oh, we spent money on them bum ass niggas. I didn't want them. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You got to do me right if you're going to do me right. Like, these guys can't cut it. I'm just talking crazy when I said that last comment, but in all seriousness, like, these guys can't cut it against you're in the East, unlike the West, is very wing heavy with the better team.
Yeah.
Like the wings can go get you 30 and 40 any given night. If Chris is hobbled and he's slow, so he can't punch back and get you 40. And then you got Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton out here, who's scoring on the perimeter for Giannis to get some of that pressure up off him. Drew can't score because he's sticking Jimmy and he's getting worn out. So now nobody on the perimeter is giving him consistent money outside. So now they just can clog the defense and slow him down and be physical with him and foul him and rough him up and make it hard for him. Basketball is simple. That's why he complains. Not because they're not spending money, because you're spending money on these weak ass players. And I do mean that. Like
So
seriously.
why do you feel like he's not using his power though? Like you feel like as a franchise player, you should be able to go in there and demand what you want.
But
This is who I want. This is who I need you to go get me, and I need you to make it happen.
think about
Because obviously, whatever Milwaukee did, he got a ring out of it.
yeah,
So that's a good point.
true.
That PJ Tucker pickup was
Yeah,
huge.
it
But I feel like
was.
why did you let PJ Tucker walk, and you not go get the players that Giannis feel like he needs to win? Why is Giannis not voicing his opinion as a franchise player to be like, okay, this is who I need on my team. This is who I want. And then if you don't win, then we took your word for it. We just didn't win. That's on you.
Okay. Well, for me, one,
Hmm.
Giannis is a foreign born player. If
Yeah.
you look at we just see him as black because he's African. But if you look at most foreign born players, they're not the kick in the front office, I need these players kind of guys.
Yeah.
None of them are. None of them never have been. It's throughout the history of the league. Even Tim Duncan, no matter what star it is, if they're foreign born, when they played across seas, they have a different ideology than Americans. American
Mm.
players going to go in there like, look, trade him, get him up out of here. He a bum. Foreign born players are going to follow the system because that's what they follow over there before they come play in our country. They follow
True.
the system. Everything is, if European teams are ran like college teams, the coach has more power than the players do.
Mm.
So when they come over here, they respect who's in charge. That's all it is. I mean, they'll voice their opinion like Giannis did. Giannis probably the closest to it, and that's probably the African side of him. But most of them other guys, they ain't gonna do that. You think if after they didn't won the ring, if they have 2 seasons where they don't get back to the final, you think Jokic gonna be like, I'm getting trade me? Jokic ain't gonna say shit. He gonna go hoop.
Yeah.
Foreign born players are just they're bred a little different. They're not really, oh man, get me up out of here kind of guy. So that's one thing. And then secondly, I don't know why they got those, but also as coaching. Mike Budenhauser liked Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton. Those players came with him. I mean,
Yeah.
they were good. Grayson wasn't on the team when they won. They had somebody else. They had other guys. You need people that can get out there and make shots. That's all it is in the playoffs. The others just got to be aggressive and score the ball in the playoffs to take pressure off the star. Basketball is literally that simple.
Yeah.
The team that got the others that step up is going to be the teams that advance, unless the stars choke. But I'm saying like the people we're talking about, they ain't gonna choke. The Stephs, the LeBrons, the Giannis's, they gonna come to play. The Jimmy Butlers, they gonna come to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I
These
feel like
guys
that was
are
a test too, of like Batman being down, Chris Middleton being out with the little nagging injuries and stuff like that.
exactly.
Like I feel like that really played a big factor too.
Yeah,
And I
because he's
also feel like as for Giannis
yeah,
though, you gotta expect your franchise players to potentially get kind of pulled away by big market teams though. Like that's what they live for. You know what I mean? Giannis
yeah,
go
it's
to a
true.
big market team like Chicago, like a New York, like a LA. That's good for his life after basketball. It's not always just about basketball. Giannis is somewhat
It's
of a
good for his
businessman too.
it's good for his life in basketball because his
Facts.
brand can grow bigger. All those guys nowadays, man, they have brands because they're doing so well with it. His brand can go his brand can grow bigger. Is what I'm trying to say if he goes to a bigger market. So
Yeah. Do you think he will leave? Like, do you think it's a potential
if
possibility that
if they don't, I do. If they don't get right, I do think he'll leave. I
I'm just trying to see
believe
where
so.
he might fit?
Golden State, that'll be the first person on this list. I'm willing to bet money, and I ain't saying it because I'm a Steph fan. I'm saying it because all them dudes want to play with Steph. They love playing with Steph. Steph make their life easy. Steph got the defense at half court. If I'm a front line player, I love that. That means ain't nobody gonna be down here with me but one on one or a midget. The whole defense at half court trying to stop him.
Barbecue chicken
They have
all
to
night.
meet. They have to meet this kid at half court. So if the point guard got to come up and Draymond is coming to set the screen, that means the entire defense has to come up. You have to meet him at whatever symbol, whatever court it is. Lakers symbol, Warriors symbol, whatever symbol at the half court, you got to meet him there. That changes every.
Facts.
So like another star playing with him, it's easy for him. That's why it was so easy for Kevin. Steph was averaging 29 in the finals, and Kevin averaged 35. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as good as Steph played, he still played better because it's easy. The whole team is trying to stop this little dude.
Facts.
Can you imagine
And Giannis
as
and
another?
Giannis lived for playing one-on-one ball going to the rim, knowing can't nobody stop him. So he would thrive. But I think Steph would probably be a little too older. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Steph kind of, I don't want to say
But
on his way out, but kind of
but
like,
that's but when you leaving out, that's what you need. That's actually how you build. That's what they did with Timmy. They went and got Tony and Ginobili, and then when them two got old, they went and got Kawhi. That's how you keep a legacy around. And Timmy got a ring with all of them as he was getting older. That's the same thing you do with Steph. Steph remind me of Timmy. He just a guard. He's not a big man.
uh,
His career remind me of Timmy. He just stay out the way. He got a good culture, a good franchise. He got some riders with him.
I
They all
don't
gonna get
win.
old together. And when they get old, mark my words, watch they gonna go splash and get somebody. And they're gonna probably do it in free agency. What? They ain't gonna even, they not even gonna have to make a trade to do it. It might not be Giannis, but watch, it's gonna be
It's gonna
somebody.
be
They're
somebody.
gonna
Yeah.
have to. That's how you build a team.
Okay.
Steph and them getting older. You ain't gonna just get rid of Steph. Steph ain't just still good, he sell tickets.
Okay.
Just
Rather
saying that's
rather
the business of the
he playing
sport.
or not, he's still
Yeah,
gonna sell
he
out.
sell tickets. So
Right.
there you go.
Man, man. Well, I appreciate you, big homie, for
No
tapping in
doubt.
with me,
No doubt.
man.
No doubt.
We'll talk more. We'll probably gotta do this again in a few days, but
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
All right,
Definitely.
man. All right,
All right, man.
peace.
Yep.